Hello, my astrology friends from around the world. This is Lada from AstroladaOfficial. Here I'm today with my guest, Sidereal Babylonian astrologer Carasia Tasio, who will lead us for the much anticipated November horoscopes for each of the 12 signs. Hello, Krasi.
Hello, Ada. Hello, everyone. Yes, just let's us make a brief overview of what to expect in November, and then we'll be looking at the 12 ascendants as usual from both sidereal and tropical perspectives. So, of course, everyone knows last month we spoke with Wada quite in a good detail about the two eclipses, the one which is happening now on 25th of October and the next one on 8th of November. These eclipses are quite powerful. They happen on the sidereal axis of Aries Libra. I'm usually advising people, Wada, especially people with sidereal, which have either Aries Libra on key position. Sidereal, this will be Aries Libra, tropical will be Taurus Scorpio, obviously, around. I'm advising people during this, if they have, let's say, ascendant, descendant in these placements, or they have moon or sun in sidereal Aries, Libra, or top tropical Taurus, Scorpio, I'm telling them not to do much, because eclipses, only God exactly knows what secret plan is encoded, in these eclipses. Only God knows exactly to great detail what they mean. But we know that when they're on a key position in our horoscopes, typically we experience delays. Temporary, our luck can be a little bit locked, but this is all for very wise purpose. After this corridor is gone, is over, the eclipse corridor, usually we see what was meant by that. Then we usually may have either other opportunities or other plans, or some changes are ahead. So this is why, like a couple of days before the first eclipse, then you take the corridor of eclipses in consideration until 8th of November, and then add 7 days, and just don't do so much. These are not very appropriate moments also for new beginnings or very important medical interventions, or let's say you have very important plans, something new to do. Wait until the corridor of eclipses expires, and then do what you want, because it's a very important eclipses. Every eclipse is important, but these are forming, we spoke exactly now with what about this, they're forming a T-square, quite intense configurations for a change. So obviously after these eclipses and after a very important celestial event, which is Saturn now on 23rd of October is turning direct and will be stationary in the 24th degree. And Wada, from this degree, he's squaring the degree of Uranus-Mars Rahu conjunction, which was very important and which took place in August. And immediately after that, we have eclipses. And immediately after that, actually, simultaneously, Mars is turning retrograde until 8th of November. He will be in the very first degree of Gemini, meaning from tomorrow already until 8th of November, Mars will be in the first degree of Gemini, where he will be stationary to turn direct. He's emphasizing on this first degree. And Gemini is a lot about communication. This can bring disturbances in communication, in commerce, in travel, if you want, in media. Meaning, if you have ascendant Gemini or Sagittarius, be a bit careful around this time. 21st October, 8th November. This is happening around eclipse. You see too many events. Now, recently, Wada, we are not speaking as usual about 1 or 2 events. There are usually so much more. So then the good thing is that towards end of November, Jupiter finally turns direct. Actually, I don't mind Jupiter being retrograde, because he is always benevolent, and now he's very powerful in Pisces. But well, we don't mind him becoming direct, but this is happening late, end of the month. And also, what else was happening? Yeah, around 11th, 12th of November, Venus as invisible is entering Scorpio. Actually, this is very interesting because as invisible, as being as a Reshkegal, in Scorpio, she's fine. She gives us the best of knowledge. Maybe people with Ascendant Scorpio or Moon in Scorpio will feel this. The amazing amount of knowledge that we can receive by Venus while he's in Scorpio. He will be in Scorpio until her appearance on 2nd of December. He appears. And what is something very interesting? Venus appears in Scorpio on 2nd of December, right in Shaula. This is positive to me because we may have some period of lessons, not very easy after, now in October, November. Obviously, we have to be honest, these are not very easy months, but after that, Venus appears where in Scorpio. This is the star Shaula, which is directly related to disease and poison, and this can be something good because last year, the first appearance of Mars also took place in Scorpio, but it was around, I think, if I'm not mistaken, 8 or 10 degree. It was in a sacred degree, and it brought warlike things. So I'm very hopeful that Venus will bring something good, but this is 2nd of December. So this around, I mean, we sit and wait and see when she appears, but it is around this day. So briefly, this is what is happening on the sky. Of course, the main energies come from the eclipses and from the square of Saturn towards all these planets, in Libra and Uranus. Yes, we live in interesting times. We shouldn't be anxious, afraid, because this is not natural to the human beings. It's coming from outside. It's not natural to us feeling. So we can, if there is something you want to add, I don't know what, or maybe we can see the 12 ascendants already.
Oh, yeah, sure. So you're saying that the second part of the month will be nicer and better?
Well, you see, we will be under this, it is the inertia of the eclipses. However, it's the inertia of the eclipses. Even though we may not have, that many difficult configurations, we will be carrying this energy, the inertia of the eclipse. It's up to us what reality we create. But yes, indeed,
by the way, Cassie, is still offering your eclipse reading for a discount?
You may continue it. It's still valid. Yes, indeed.
Yes. So if anyone wants a reading with Cassie, she'll focus on these eclipses or the coming two, whatever you prefer, if you're not affected by these two first. So just to mention that. Okay.
Yes. So thank you, Wadaya. Yes. So we are starting as usual with Sidereal Ascendant, Aries or Moon. Just before this, to tell you now the first appearance of the Moon for the month of November is happening in around powerful degrees in Scorpio, around the 10 degrees in Scorpio. It can vary slightly. You have very powerful stars there. This means that the events which will be taking place for us in November indeed will be powerful, will be strong, but it is also the other way around. We will have the strength to go through this, the collective energy. It will require courage and knowledge, because Scorpio, and especially these degrees, are a lot about knowledge. So research, study without being falling in the trap of the mainstream media. Research and check every single detail. So now we're looking at Sidereal Ascendant Aries or Moon in Aries, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Taurus. So we'll be seeing this particular ascendant. Now for you, indeed, the times are a little bit intense, powerful. This is, you see, this is because of two eclipses, which will take place, both of them, the one now in October and the second one in November, on your ascendant descendant axis. Even like I told you, on the 23rd of October, now Saturn will be squaring this very point in Aries, where we had the conjunction between Uranus, Mars, and Rahu. Meaning, don't be afraid, get this energy exactly for the opposite, to be very brave, to be very courageous, but still be a little bit cautious. During this period of time, like which I mentioned in the beginning of the eclipse corridor, I wouldn't undertake dangerous travels or new beginnings or medical interventions. I would rather do my routine a bit more careful. This is important. Also, now for you, from the period of 21st of October until 8th of November, Mars, who is ruling you, is on your third house. As in particular, around this time, be cautious how you negotiate, how you travel, even in your studies. But this is something that doesn't take so long, and it will pass. Now, after mid-November, the time for you will be easier, better. Also, for you, Jupiter is in quite benevolent position, supporting your health. This is the transiting Jupiter. I only think that you should be more cautious this first half of November. Also be patient and loving with your partner, cautious how you do agreements, how you negotiate. And all this will pass, especially when you have knowledge and when you're not worried. And don't forget, also benevolent planets are always helping us. Venus for you will become visible on your 8th house to support finances via, this is 2nd of December already, to support finances of your partner, to support your health. So there is always balance in nature. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Taurus, or moon in Taurus, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Gemini. Now for you, Mars will be on your ascendant, with small exception, only from 21st October to 8th of November, not. For the rest of the time, Mars will be in classically fallen position on your ascendant until 17th of March of 2023. You already know how this feels. Could be that you feel a little bit irritated. Could be that your sleep is a little bit disturbed. Could be that you don't feel at your best. Maybe also your energy levels. Could be that you feel a bit, well, in disharmony. But when you use this positively, like being very strategic, being very disciplined, planning everything, planning financial activities, being careful and patient with your partner, it will be fine. But still, Mars is on your ascendant for quite some time. For the rest, the first appearance of the moon is happening for you in Scorpio. Emphasis on partnership, indeed. And on the 2nd of December, well, I'm looking a bit far, but just to give also the positive, part of the whole story, Mars appears also on your Venus for the first time will appear on your 7th house, which will give you good results if you now will be patient in your romantic life, with agreements and everything. You will be rewarded in December. So there you need to be cautious. How you plan things, how you don't get involved in risky situations. Be very disciplined, planning, and all will be fine. And Jupiter is creating harmonious aspect, and end of the month he's becoming direct. So you will feel his presence even more. So let's see people who have sidereal ascendant Gemini, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Cancer. Now for you, your ascendant ruler Mercury is very powerful, still quite, still visible for a couple more days. You can see him as a morning star. on your fourth house. This is very good. Maybe you feel very motivated to do things for your home, to study, to communicate, to learn, to do things for your home, because he's on your fourth house, very powerful. In November, Mercury will be, yes, participating in the eclipse. Well, what to tell you, around this time, the eclipse corridor, which I mentioned, maybe this particular placement of Mercury can even give you a knowledge, and you will see this after the eclipses are over. This happens to you to be lucky house also, because fifth house is the house of the good fortune. So I don't see you really suffering from these eclipses. The other way around, you can get a lot of knowledge. This can unlock talent and well, some lucky results as a result of your efforts, talents. But this is after you need to be a bit patient for these moments to pass. Now, for this period of time, until from 21st October until 8th of November, Mars is right in the first degree on your ascendant. This period may feel a little bit disharmonious. You have to watch out more, watch out not to take new initiatives, how you travel, don't get involved in conflicts. This 1 week, not 2 weeks, but 1 week of November period when you need to watch out a little bit. But Jupiter makes friendly aspect to your ascendant, so you have also great protection in the meantime. And now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Cancer or moon in Cancer, or if you're following modern tropical astrology, this will be ascendant Leo. For November, the first appearance of the moon, which is ruling your ascendant, is happening on your fifth house. This is not only house of pleasure and sex, this is great house of luck, the good karma, gains, of course, children, of course, talented work, of course, creative knowledge. So you can have very good results from this appearance of the moon. Giving you true great knowledge in your fifth house. Of course, watch out a little bit, be careful. 23rd of October, Saturn will be squaring by turning direct. At this point, which I mentioned to you, of August, when Uranus, Mars, Rahu met directly on your 10th house, meaning he can eventually intensify issues related to your career, career challenges. That's why you have to be very diplomatic, careful. And the eclipses will certainly be important for you, because it is very common people to have midheaven, lower meridian on 10th, 4th houses, which happens to be your career place. Therefore, be patient, careful when it comes to career. This particular period, especially until mid of November, you have to be more careful. Jupiter makes harmonious aspect to your sun, and this is good. Very. It is protection. It is well-being. It is blessing. It will help you when you search knowledge, information. Especially when in end of the month of November he becomes direct. So these are the areas where you have to watch out a bit, and do less new initiatives, less important initiatives during the eclipse corridor, which I described. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Leo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Virgo, or this is valid for people who would have a moon in Leo too, or moon in tropical Virgo, of course. Now for you, see this transit of Mars from the moment of his entrance until which was in August, until the moment of his exit, is exit on 17th of March of 2023, is a bit, well, tense. It is squaring your ascendant. This doesn't mean necessarily that bad things will happen, no. But it is, you see, Mars in Taurus, I noticed to be not really bad. He can be very strategic, This is controlled Mars energy. So I don't see him really as troublesome, but depends, of course, how your natal Mars is placed in your horoscope. Depends how you understand the Mars energy. To me, this placement of Mars would say that we need to be quite disciplined, quite like a soldier. This is the controlled Mars energy. So Mars is in November, with small exception from 1st until 8th November. He is in your 11th house. But while he will be on your 10th house, square in your ascendant, you have to watch how you communicate with superiors. He can bring a bit of disharmony in your career place. So also be careful for everything, basically, how you drive, how you communicate. Don't get involved into risky situations. So this is with Mars, traveling through your 10th house. The period from until 8th of November, it is from 21st of October, but I mean the month of November. This 1 week of November, Mars in your 11th house may be a little bit more benevolent, but for the rest of the time, you have to be very disciplined. Also, when you make financial decisions, when you communicate with superiors, these are the areas where how you drive, be careful. This is also important. Also, the eclipse for you is happening on the axis of 9th, 3rd houses. If you have no luminaries there, and if your mid-heaven lower meridian is not passing through these points, I don't think that you will be so much influenced. But anyhow, this will be intense moment for the whole planet, so we may need to be a bit careful during this eclipse corridor, which I mentioned to you. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Virgo or moon in Virgo, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Libra. Now for you, right now, don't forget you have still a couple of days to see Mercury as a morning star on your ascendant. Great timing for communication, media work, for studies, for teaching others, even for travel. Now Mars is going to be in November until 8th of November, a little bit more critical, a little bit more intense, because you'll be on your 10th house. These 8 days, be a little bit careful how you communicate with superiors, how you drive, everything. Then on 8th of November, he goes back retrograde on your 9th house. This is not bad. He can give you drive to revisit study, to revisit knowledge, he can make you look into philosophical studies, religion, and this is totally not bad. End of the month, Jupiter becomes direct on your 7th house, and this is fine for agreements, for your romantic life. So I think you're in quite benevolent position. Saturn is still in your 5th house, of course, will become direct during the whole month of November, still on your 5th house, and this is not bad. You're familiar with this energy of he's still moderating your 5th house, communication with children, creative knowledge, gains, all these things. Now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Libra or moon in Libra, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this would be Scorpio. Now for you, the time is indeed a bit interesting, because both eclipses, the one on 25th October and the one on 8th of November, both are taking place on this very axis of your ascendant and descendant. I would say, don't worry, but of course, be a bit cautious, especially during the entire eclipse corridor, who has already started 2 days ago, and will end mid of November, because this can be a bit critical time when you may feel that you're not very lucky, that your sleep is a little bit disturbed, that things are slowed down. This is normal, but after this is over, the time will start, the things will start moving again. Be careful a little bit in your relationships with partnerships in general, how you drive. Don't make medical invasive. I mean, if you have to do something, of course you do, but very important invasive medical interventions, you may a bit delay if you can. In general, don't be worried, because this only will be, it will not be appropriate for such situation, but be cautious, because these times, this is a very important axis in your horoscope, but it is also not very new to you. You experienced already such eclipses in May, on the 30th of April in particular, took place again on this very same axis, so you know how it felt. Just be a little bit more cautious, and after the eclipses are over, you will see where the energies will be leading you. Of course, more details can be seen in the horoscope. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Scorpio, or moon in Scorpio, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Sagittarius. Now for you, your ascendant ruler, Mars, is in very interesting position until 17th of March of next year. He's in Taurus. This may indeed, because he's your ascendant ruler, basically you are Mars. So he can indeed bring you some disturbances in your romantic life, agreements, you know, even work, your routine, because he rules also your 6th house. He can easily bring disharmonies also, and bring conflicts, help disharmony. So, but this is not necessarily to be so, because like I told you, when we are very disciplined, when we are very strategic, this would resemble the nature of Mars in Taurus. So I'm just telling you the possibilities, but you can perfectly be in control of such energy, actually. So this is where you have to watch out a little bit. Romantic life, there will be this small moment, 21st of October to 8th of November, when Mars is entering your 8th house. He's peregrine there without specific powers, but still watch out when you make financial decisions. Also the finances which you generate via partnership, or the finances of a partner, watch out a little bit for your health. But in general, this is a short period, and Jupiter is making friendly aspect to be of help. So this is briefly for people who have ascendant Scorpio. The eclipses are happening on axis of 12th, 6th houses. If you have luminaries there, you may watch out for your health, but in general, this is not an angular position in your horoscope, so probably you will not feel very strongly the eclipses. And now we are looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Sagittarius or moon in Sagittarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Capricorn. Now, Jupiter, who rules you, is very powerful, and this is good for you on your 4th house. Still retrograde, but in the end of November, he becomes direct, which is even better. Things will start moving faster and better for you. Jupiter actually is very benevolent for your house, even for your work. So this is very helpful. For a short period of time, from 21st of October until 8th of November, Mars is entering your 7th house. Watch a little bit for in your romantic life. Make sure that you are, you know, intuitive, diplomatic, forgiving there. Watch for, you know, agreements. This may not be the most appropriate timing for signing agreements on new initiatives. Also, because after that, Mars retrograde will be until 17th of November, 17th of March of next year, excuse me, will be on your 6th house. Watch out, be very diplomatic in your routine life, stay away from conflicts, and make sure that you take good care of your health. And we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Capricorn, or moon in Capricorn, or this will be tropical Aquarius. For you now, just on the 23rd, Saturn finally is turning direct, and he will be actually squaring this very important point, where in August we had this conjunction of Uranus, Mars, and Rahu. And this can be a little bit intense, meaning this period from now already until mid-November, this is also including the moments of the eclipses, meaning you have to be a bit careful. Now, Saturn in Capricorn, actually, if Saturn is in your horoscope is placed well, most probably gave you great changes, very important ones. But this timing now also will be quite intense, quite important. Be cautious in your career place, be patient with your romantic partner, and do less during this eclipse corridor. But of course, all depends on how Saturn is placed in your horoscope. But I still do think that you may need to be a little bit cautious during this period, which is not so long. The energies would change very, very much after Saturn moves into Aquarius for you, and this is end of January of 2023. Now we're looking at people who have sidereal ascendant Aquarius or moon in Aquarius, or if you're following the modern tropical astrology, this will be Pisces. Now for you, Saturn, who is ruling you, also very important for you, is turning direct now on the 23rd. This will be already a change. Things may start moving a little bit faster for you. Maybe you had a bit disturbed sleep during this phase of Saturn. Now, Mars is in the meantime on your fourth house, where he will be until 17th of March of 2023 for a very short period of time. From 21st of October until 8th of November, Mars will be in the first degree of Gemini, fifth house of yours. You may need to, during this short period of time, be a little bit more attentive with children. But other than that, Mars in the fifth house can give you very good drive to create beauty if you want, to study, to do sport. So this is not bad placement of Mars. But on 8th of November, he comes back on your fourth house, and then you may need to be a little bit more careful how you communicate with superiors, how you communicate with parents at home. So you have this eventually small disharmony from him. In the meantime, Jupiter in the end of the month turns direct on your second house. This can be financially helpful. Venus on 2nd of December becomes visible on your 10th house, also quite good omen for your career, for your plans. So this is just a short moment of eventually of some disharmonies that may happen. Now we look at people who have sidereal ascendant Pisces or moon in Pisces, or if you're looking from the perspective of the modern tropical astrology, this will be Aries. Jupiter is turning direct end of November, but even now he's great on your ascendant. It's true blessing to have Jupiter on your ascendant, and this is happening. This will be the case until April of 2023. But now when he turns direct, you feel it may be better. Maybe things will start moving better and faster for you. In the meantime, Mars on your third house will stay until 17th of November of March of next year. There is a short period of time of Mars being in Gemini from 21st October until 8th November. This small period of time, you have to watch out a little bit how you communicate with parents at home, also career place. After that, on 8th November, he comes back into Taurus to stay there until 17th of March of next year. Depends how your Mars is placed in your horoscope, but better be careful how you travel, how you negotiate, how you trade, how you do commercial activity. Be disciplined, be organized, and Mars will be actually working in your favor even. The eclipses are not so much influencing you. Depends, of course, if you have luminary on axis Aries, Libra, they might influence you. But in general, I think that they are not. So your horoscope looks fine for November. So we're completing here with the 12 ascendants. Wada.
Thank you so much, Krasi. People were saying, oh, they were fearful what will happen, but it sounded nicer.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Krasi. And if anyone would like a reading with Krasi, I'll put the link below. to her profile. And may you all pass smoothly through the eclipses. And see you soon
Yes.
again.